was coaching? How was business before coaching, and then how was business during coaching?
So business before coaching was very difficult. Although I thought I was on top of things, I knew I wasn't, and I was struggling to see the wood for the trees and see the future of where we're going. It's just doing the general grind, and things change sometimes rapidly and sometimes slowly. It feels like the change has taken forever, and then the next thing you wake up, suddenly things are moving in a different direction. So it's feels like a stop and start, but when you look back into hindsight, you can see each little step that has moved into different progress, I suppose.
How has your business changed since the start of coaching?
So it's changed in many ways. It has grown. It has given me the, the foresight to see where I can actually change my business. Um, Given me the what would be the right word? Maybe the guts, or takes the fear away out of what the next step is. Often fear is the biggest limiting object. Sometimes you need that leap of faith, and sometimes you need a big push.
So do you think the coaching has helped you to push you into the right directions for you and your business?
Definitely, and it's not only the coaching; it's the sounding board. It's the speaking out loud to someone else, talking inside your head. It all sounds good, and when you go and speak out loud, you either find the problem, and then you say, okay, well, I've got to solve that issue, and then either 2 or 3 conversations later, you solve the problem, or 2 or 3 words later, you solve the problem. It just depends on how it works, and it's that sounding board that you actually need. Inside your head, everything sounds smooth and roses, but it never is. But when someone else tells you what you know and what you should do, and you suddenly think, okay, well, let me try that, and you actually step in and do it, it changes the focus, changes the direction.
How have your business, the thinking and the awareness, how's that changed, and what was the impact of that change, of that awareness specifically?
So the awareness in my case, I I was always aware of what was happening around me, but like I said, the fear was holding back of what was going on. And when you clear that out of your head, and suddenly the awareness becomes clearer, it's almost like, I suppose the best way of putting it is like cleaning your glasses. You know that something is there, and you clean your glasses, says, "Oh, check at that." Yeah, it's what I can see, and what I suddenly can move forward. So it's
That
the help of that.
that isn't that interesting moment, right?
Correct.
If you look at the growth that you had in your business in over the last 4 or 5 years versus the coaching expense, what do you think was the return on investment? If you could take a guess on, was it a valuable investment that you did in yourself in the coaching journey? And what do you think is the impact now and going to be the impact later of this journey?
The impact now is enormous. It's not only the impact on the physical monetary side of it, it's the impact of how it's changed my life and the way I look at not only my businesses but my clients' businesses, and what what is possible for them. And in my business, which is IT, you need to make sure your client is making so much profit that when they look at your expense, it's worth it. A couple of grand you spend a month is worth it. Just keep paying it. We'll keep moving you forward, which is what synergy is, and that's a good partnership. So so coaching is the same thing. Yeah, when you come into a business, this is what your business look like. This is what you look like, and this is how we've grown you and your business.
Do you think the coaching helped you unlock that potential?
So when I started coaching, I think the way I looked at it wasn't to unlock potential. It was for guidance. What I've realized is that it is the key to the door. How you use that key and which doors you want to open is what coaching is about.
Okay.
I suppose the best way to look at it is you can take 15 guys and put them in a rugby team, and they can lose every single match. With the right coach, they all know how to play rugby. They know how to tackle, they know how to pass, they understand the strategy of the game. Get the guidance of, okay, this is where we all want to move in terms of how we're going into that game. That's what it unlocks.
Wow, that's powerful. How has your time efficiently improved in your business since the coaching started?
That's changed quite drastically. The realization of letting things go. As a business owner, I was very much in control and holding things together. And I felt that sometimes it was better for me to do it than for someone else to do it. I've now realized that it's better for me to teach someone else to do it and make sure they do it the way I want it to be done, not just go and do something and come back with a half-assed job. This is how I did it. This is the result that I want. You have to achieve that result. Not only does it give people a goal to achieve anyway, it makes them feel better when they overachieve that and say, this is how you did it. This is how long it took you. This is what I've done, and it's been faster and better. Cool. And you suddenly realize as a business owner that you did that while I was growing this over here. Now that's fantastic.
Was the investment in coaching a concern versus the guarantee that was offered in the beginning for you?
So yes, it was. It always is. You know, whenever you invest in something, there's a concern, no matter what the guarantee is. But that's where I think that it's more reliant on me as a person than the coach. The coach is the tool. How do you use that tool is the important part.
What have you gained from the program to date?
Besides a good business and a profitable business, in myself, I've gained insight into what actually is possible out there. And I believe it's improved my leadership skills in terms of what I can actually get out of my employees and hopefully get them to a level where I want them to be. And with that, you win and lose. It depends who you're with. Sometimes you find that there's an anchor holding you back. But if you go back and turn around and actually look at what they're doing and why they're dragging you back and say, well, yeah, just pick your feet up. Yeah, it's take that first step. A lot of them take the first step and realize that it's easier to work with the team than against the team. It's like going down a river. It's easier to pick the current than work against the current. Once you're in there, you don't have to work that hard.
Do you recommend business coaching to other people?
I would recommend business coaching to everyone. I think and it depends what they want out of it. Yeah, I've done an exceptionally long journey with coaching, and I think that it's because maybe I was a slow learner. I don't know, but I think I still want more. And if you want more and keep doing the same thing, the harder you work at it, the better you get at it. When you start training and your brain is the same thing as your muscles, the more you train your muscles, the more your muscles want.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long journey. So that's an interesting question, though. You've been on this journey now for about 4 or 5 years. Are you still getting value out of it?
So yes, I do still get value out of it, and our coaching is very different now to what it was when it started. And I think it's because of that, because you are not a square peg in a square hole. That's what makes the difference. When people look at a business coach, my assumption is what I assume, that they're going to tell you stuff you already know. Yeah, they are going to tell you that. But because someone's telling it to you and because you're doing it, it just works. If anyone wants to take on coaching, there's two ways you can take on coaching. You can take on, okay, I'm here, fix my business for me. Or I'm here, how are we going to fix my business? And I think that's the difference, is that you look at it as a accountability partner, someone who you are accountable to and they are accountable to you as well. To be there if there's a hiccup and phone call, hey, I need 5 minutes of your time or 10 minutes of your time. Can I set something up? That's the difference. And that's what is the help is.
How much extra income do you think you've generated from the coaching experience to date, whether it's percentage growth or a number, whatever you want to share, whatever you're comfortable with?
I think the best is a percentage growth. Basically, I've doubled my business. I think that's more of an impact than a value.
Okay.
And because my double might be 1,000 to 2,000, and someone else's might be 1 million to 2 million or 10 billion to 20 million. But the noughts at the end is not the difference. We all stress about a number. Some people stress about 1 billion, some 1 million, some 100, some 1 rand. But when you double it, it's quite powerful, and I think that's more powerful than anything else.
Can you remember what profits you had in your business before coaching versus kind of now?
Profits are different. Turnover is easy to double. Sometimes you don't double your profit. Sometimes you get more. Sometimes you get less. So that's really difficult to give you an actual percentage. But the end result is the profits are more available than they were before.
If you look at before coaching, was there actually a profit versus maybe now it's a 6 or a 7 figure profit after what 4 or 5 years of taking this journey?
Yeah, definitely.
Can you remember that far back?
Yeah. Again, it was literally a couple of thousand that I was happy with, as long as at the end of the day or the year, wherever it was, the income exceeded the expenses. That was the goal. Now it's quite different. It's how much can that income exceed the expenses, and not only how much, how can I continue that process?
So the goal is now a growth goal instead of just a couple of $1,000 of profit, right?
Correct. Yeah.
The current fast track hour, would you say that is a valuable tool for you, yes or no? And what would you say is good about the fast track hour at the moment?
What I find valuable about that is having people, when you're all having the same problem. And in South Africa, we're all having the same load shedding problem. And how do we solve those problems? And we're all having the same frustration. So you suddenly don't feel alone. And I think that's what's more important about the fast track hour than anything else, is that we're not alone in this journey. And it's people from all sorts of industries. It's not just business owners. It's like little entrepreneurs that do their own thing. A person that writes a book has got very different very different challenges to what I am. And what I find interesting, or what I think about is, how would I get them as a client? What would they need? And for me, the advantage of that is, if I can find a solution for someone who's just got a laptop, from an IT perspective, imagine what I can do for a business who's got 70 or 80 users.
So do you think it's valuable to have this diversity of people that's there, like a single startup type scenario, medium guys, and then you've got the bigger companies with, let's say, 15, 20, 30 staff that's in this same community? Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think it's valuable for people to see the diversities?
Definitely, because people need to. The small business person thinks his business is very different. The micro business person, I should say. The one man, the two man business thinks his business is very different, and it's not. It's exactly the same as the guy who's got 30 staff. The only difference is he's got 30 times the problems. But if you are your own staff and your own stuff, you have the same problem as someone who's got 30 people with their own issues and their own things. And how do you manage that? And if where you want to stay is, I just want to be a one-man show and earn my money and just have that freedom to work the hours I want to work, that's cool. But if you want to be an electrician with 10 staff or 20 staff to grow your business, then you need that person who's got the 30 staff there ready and say, well, how do you handle that? What challenges do you have with 30 people? And what people do you need in which places to actually solve that problem?
Okay. Do you think that the topics, the specific weekly topics that's been discussed, do you find them, what value do you get out of those topics?
I think that those topics are important for the fast track. I think the fast track wouldn't work without a topic. And the topic is important to everybody, even though it might not be that day. It might be something that they've dealt with in the past and they can give an answer, say, I've had this issue, this is how I solved it. Or it might be them just sitting there thinking, I've never had this issue. In a year's time, oh yes, we spoke about that in fast track. Let me either give that as a call to find out what the solutions were, or I remember what those solutions were. So it's important. But you have to have a topic. You have to have, this is what the agenda is.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. This was really valuable for me.
Thanks, Bertus.